hello. It's Golden Lee here. I am so excited to see you guys and talk about my new single, Golden Forever, that is out right now. It came out at midnight today. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited to share with you just behind the song. I'm gonna play it live and yeah, we'll just hang out. Can feel free to ask questions. I love to talk about the songwriting process. So hello, just gonna wait a minute for a few people to know that we're live. Let's see. Okay, hello, hi. If you could type in the comments for me, if you can hear me okay, if everything's good, that would be awesome. That way I can just know that our levels are good. And we're gonna be talking about Golden Forever, brand new song that came out today. Thanks, Alex. I'm glad you can hear it, that's perfect. Okay. All right, I think everything's working, so we're just gonna move on, and as people get here, hi Debbie, I'm so glad you're here. Let me know in the comments too if you've heard the song Golden Forever yet, if you've listened to it. It's on all the music platforms. Hi Caitlin. Yeah, let me know if you've heard it and what you're thinking. And I'd also love to know if you brought dessert to celebrate. I'm not gonna eat on camera, but we're definitely having coconut milk ice cream because that's all I can eat. Hey, yeah, so let me know what your favorite dessert is too while you're at it. Hi Grant, thanks for joining us. So we're just talking about favorite dessert because we are celebrating. And then I'm also wondering if you've heard the new song Golden Forever yet. It's everywhere right now. Oh, thanks Debbie. She said she listened to it and loves it. So I really love this song, so I'm just super excited to talk about it with you guys and share it. Yes. Okay. So the first thing, I just wanted to share my heart, a little bit of my heart behind the song, play it for you guys, and then share more. If you guys have questions, you want to know about what the song means, what different lines mean, what the process was like writing it, I'm going to talk about it, but if you have questions, just type them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, so the funny part about this song is, oh yes, the funny part about this song is just the way that it was written from a random like moment that I'll tell you about in a minute. And it just kept building from there. Like in the past I would write songs, hey, how are you? Sorry guys. In the past I would write songs that were just like, I'd sit down and it sort of all would just flow out, and then I would be like, yes, this is it, this is the song. This time that didn't really happen, but it turned out to be for the better because I got to look at it over and over and really break down what I wanted this song to be about, and I feel like I was able to really hone in on that with the lyrics. So I just asked earlier if you guys want to let me know your favorite dessert. Some people are already commenting. Mainly because we're just celebrating. For me, it is coconut milk ice cream, and I love vanilla flavor. I would do chocolate, but I'm like allergic to it right now, unfortunately. So vanilla for me. Alex says chocolate chip cookie dough. Caitlin is saying anything chocolate. So nothing in the house tonight, but she's having a popsicle. That's awesome. Ooh, Jay Alexander's carrot cake. That sounds incredible. Thank you, Mario. Thanks for being here to celebrate the release with me. Okay, so I want to talk about this little random bit of inspiration that happened it's really funny. One day I was just getting my son up from his nap. He's 2. This was before he turned 2. And he was just like being silly. He was just going, hello, hello, hello. And it was adorable with his little voice. And I just started singing. And I think it started out like, Elola, ah, ah, Elola, ah, ah. And then I was like, ooh, that's cool. So I recorded it, and we were in a session with the producer that worked on the song, and I was like, I don't even know what to do with this little thing. It's just there. I don't know what to do with it. What do you think? And so I like sang it for him. We figured out what chords would support that on the piano, and we just started like messing with stuff, like what chords could go around it, could we make a verse, could we do this? And for a while it was literally he like broke it down into a little more electronic version of that piece, so it was just like oh ah ah, and you hear that during the choruses especially, and then a little bit in other places, and that just, when we heard him do that, it was like, oh, this is amazing, but we still had no like actual song. And so we just kept messing with it over and over, and then we found chords that we thought, let's make this a verse. And I started to get what is called in music industry like a top line. I started to get a melody for the main lyrics, and I didn't have any words, so I was just like, I think it should be like da 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 da. And that was all I had. So we kept just piecing it together little by little. And that's sort of how the song started and how it came about. Which for me was really fun, because it was sort of like this choose your own adventure thing. There were times, I remember Nova is the name of our producer. He just kept being like, all right, we maybe just need to like make some decisions and start going with it, because there was so much we could do. And so that's what we ended up doing. It was like, okay, let's try this out and see how it is. And then we ended up with what we have now. So yeah, is anybody, you guys are there. I'm so excited, but what do you think? Do you guys have any questions so far? Just type them in the comments and I can answer them. And then if you missed it, you know, you can catch on the replay. Just like the spark for the song was my son, who was almost 2, just singing this little thing with his voice. And then it was literally just, he was saying "ello," and I took that and turned it into this whole melody that kept growing. So it was really fun. One thing I want to show you too is, I think sometimes a lot of people think that songwriters kind of just sit down and write and it all just comes out in the form of a song, and that's not always the case. At least not for me. Maybe sometimes I get lucky that way. But this song, I really wanted to structure it in a way that I felt like was super consistent with what I wanted to say. And when I was listening to the music build up, it started to feel like, oh, this song needs to be about just seeing, I don't know, I was just really at the time and still kind of in awe of how must the creator feel toward his creation. I felt like on my journey with God, I kept feeling like he just wanted me to start seeing myself and seeing other people the way that he sees them. And for me, I believe all humans were created in the image of God. Every single human. No matter what our differences are, they're all worthy, they're all loved, beautiful. And so that was really kind of where this started to come from, was some different experiences I had where I felt like God was just like, look, like just see with my eyes. And so I started to just really chew on that. And I ended up, this might have been a day I went to the library, so I'm just going to show you. This is my current songwriting notebook. And I just turned to the page where I have like, these are called what I call sparks. So they're just like little tiny ideas. It might just be like a word. Like the biggest thing I kept thinking was about the moon, you know, being made in the image of God. The moon, you know, you only see it because it's reflecting the light of the sun. And so I like just wrote that down, you know, and I didn't know how to put it in the song. But eventually, after working on getting all these little ideas out, I started to be able to like put them into lines, if that makes sense. So just trying different lines, trying rhymes, just trying to get meanings together. So I actually have, I'm just gonna show you a glimpse. So there was this page of like just ideas. There's tons of other like just single words over here. I was like, this word would be cool in here. Then I started writing lines over here, and then you can, I don't know if you can see this, but they're like really crossed out and scribbled through and rewritten, and there's just times where you're trying to get the idea out, but the line just takes some work. And so there's a lot of, yeah, finally I got to a version that was really close to what we ended up with, but it was worth the effort. I really feel like spending that time just made me feel like once this song was out, it really was what I wanted it to be. Oh, Mario, it's good to see you. Hopefully you'll get to catch the replay. Thanks for being here. So yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, do you guys have questions about the song? This is like about hanging out with each other and just kind of sharing. I have more I can share, but I would definitely like to be able to talk about stuff that you guys want to know about. So yeah, do you guys have any questions for me? Let's see what's happening. One part of the process too that I forgot to mention is like writing an outline and a summary. I really did spend a lot of time in that, going from verse to chorus to verse and being like, okay, this is my overall theme of like, how does the creator see us? And how can I break that down into pieces that fit and tell a story? And then break that down into lines, and then break that down into the words and the pairings that go together. So it was really fun. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions at the moment, so I was thinking maybe I could play this song for you guys. Let me grab my guitar real quick. And then maybe we could just talk about the lyrics, so that way you're hearing the lyrics and you can kind of put that together with the why, the why for the lyrics. Okay, let's test this out. Hopefully everybody's hearing that okay. Is that too loud? Okay. Darkness looms, but it's your night, rising like the moon. Darling, it's your time to come alive. Constellations swoon, and you don't see the way you radiate everlasting light. Really shine, and will you promise me that you'll stay golden forever, golden forever, golden forever, golden forever. Circling the girl meant to shine. You're a stroke of genius, don't you know? You don't have to hide, baby, you're on fire. Look at you glow. Lights were meant to shine. You're a stroke of genius, don't you know? You don't have to hide, baby, you're on fire. Look at you glow. Golden forever, golden forever, yeah, golden forever. Ooh, golden forever, yeah, golden forever, golden forever, golden forever, yeah, golden forever, yeah. All right. Man, that never gets old. I love playing that. I definitely always have to play a different style when it's live, just because there's like no way for me to do what a producer can do with just a guitar. But it's so fun still. All right. So let's see. Yeah, I'd love to talk more about the song. If you guys have any questions, remember you can always just type them in the comments and I'll see them. But I do have some notes too. All right, Alex is asking, saying, Gilded Cosmos paints a really amazing picture. Do you remember how that part came together? That's a really good question. I'm gonna get my notebook out and see when I wrote that down, because that's one of my favorite lines. So I do remember that I was like, okay, like as I was writing, I just kept thinking about how we're on Earth, the Earth is spinning constantly, but then it's also like orbiting, right, around the sun. And so thinking about the Earth orbiting around the sun, in the galaxy, in the universe, and like how honestly glorious that is to me. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos where they like start showing like a person and then they keep zooming out further and further and further until like Earth is, you can't even see Earth, you're seeing like the Milky Way, and then you're seeing all these other things. And I just kept thinking, if that is, if that, the whole universe in its splendor and its glory is seen in God's eyes as like not even the pinnacle of creation, but that people are, like, what does that mean? What does that mean on an emotional, like, deep level for how I see myself, for how I see other people? To think about that's, I don't know if this is making a lot of sense. And so when I put circling the gilded cosmos, I was thinking the word gilded, I'm not actually sure if it's a real word. It keeps getting an underline whenever I type it in like my Word documents, which just cracks me up. But thinking about it being like sparkling, like a treasure, the cosmos I see is just something so beautiful, and yet we're the pinnacle of creation, circling around all of this. So that was kind of a long explanation, sorry. I hope that answered your question. That's sort of how it came together, that line about the gilded cosmos. Yeah. Mario says, love that universe line. Is that the one you were talking about, Mario, with circling the gilded cosmos, or was there a different one? Because there's another line that says constellations swoon. I wrote a lot out. Yeah. So again, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I talked about at the beginning how the song just started out as this like nonsense hook, and then we just kept building on it. And in the first verse, so I'll just read the first verse for you guys. It says, darkness looms, but it's your night, rising like the moon. Darling, it's your time to come alive, constellations swoon. And to me, like, I have this story. One day I was out walking by myself, just trying to like clear my head, which is hard for me to do. So I went on a walk, and this amazing thought just popped into my head. And I'm just gonna read it word for word because I like had to record it, like write it on my phone immediately. The moon never wonders when it's meant to shine. Just as the sun settles in for the night, the moon takes its place as the bearer of light. So just as the sun has its time to shine, so does the moon. And if it feels dark to you during this time, like it did when I was on this walk, I felt like the message was like, this might be exactly the time for you to rise up. You might be here for such a time as this, to live your life to the fullest. And when we get to the constellations, just thinking about how beautiful the stars are and all the constellations, and yet we have a creator who sees us as humans as the pinnacle of creation. And in my imagination, I guess I was just picturing like even the stars just swooning at the thought of us, at the thought of how we can reflect the creator's light in a way that no other part of creation can. There's just something really special about humans being made in the image of God. And so that's where that line came from. Constellation swooning was this thought that like maybe even the stars would be a little jealous, looking down on humans who God has this very tender soft spot for. So yeah, and then the pre-chorus says, you don't see the way you radiate everlasting light. Brilliantly you shine, and will you promise me that you'll stay? Stay golden forever, into the chorus. And so for me, that line, it just felt like at that time, the Lord was teaching me like, you might not feel like you are light in the world. You might feel like you're invisible. But I can see you with truth and see that you are reflecting light. And the everlasting light, the point is, it's not, my own light that's coming out, but it's God's light radiating energy and truth and goodness. Whenever I'm filling myself with that, then I can shine that. And then moving into the chorus, just saying, will you promise me that you'll stay golden forever? There's this line from The Outsiders. If anyone had to read that in school, it's stay gold, pony boys, stay gold. And in that instance, it kind of means like, keep your innocence, like don't lose that. And I feel like that sort of has turned into we have a modern saying, not that the book isn't modern, but now we hear people say like stay golden all the time. And what that really means is sort of like stay true to yourself. And so this song for me really came to a culmination of being about identity. And so the identity part is that we're made in the image of God. And so remembering that, so that's the chorus, the pre-chorus into the chorus of like stay golden forever is just being like, remember who you are, remember who made you, remember who you belong to, and hold on to that. And at the same time, stay true to yourself. Don't just Don't stop doing what makes you feel alive. Know who you were created to be. And don't forget that. And you're made to shine brightly. If we're made in the image of God to reflect God's light to the world, then we're made to shine. So that's sort of just what that's about. Thanks, Mario. He says he loves the line about radiating, that's so inspiring. I'm so glad, because that's just that's my heart really for any song that I put out into the world, is just to not just inspire, but to really speak to people's hearts, to go beyond this, just a good beat, which is awesome, but to go beyond that, and for it to mean something. So thank you so much for that encouragement. That means a lot to me. Okay, I just want to talk a bit more about the lyrics, and then if there's any questions, go ahead and type them in now, and I'll answer them at the end, and then, we'll just see where this goes. Okay, verse 2, we sort of talked about already, so I'm going to try to not say the same thing more than once. But verse 2 is circling the gilded cosmos, echo of the sun, most enchanting song ever composed, glory's just begun. This verse was really hard for me to write. I had the first verse for a while before I could figure out what to say next that would still add to the song. And man, that message in my heart was just like, I just felt like I had to get it right and perfect. And man, I just felt so overwhelmed by the preciousness of every human life and the immense love the divine carries for us. I just felt like I was getting that from God in my time with him, listening to the Holy Spirit. I felt like he was just like, you just don't see how much love I have for you. And I try to imagine what it must feel like from the Creator's point of view, from the divine point of view. And that verse is just where I ended up. Each year is another trip around the sun in an orbit that sustains life. And being made in the image of God, we reflect the truest light when we align ourselves fully with the Spirit. So even when we're imperfect, God has immense compassion on us. And my heart just soared, getting this sense of a small part of God's feelings for each person on the planet. And then also knowing that was for me, like that kind of love was also for me. It's mind-blowing to me. And we didn't talk yet about the line echo of the sun. But to me, it's like it's a play on words. When the name Goldenly was revealed for this whole music project, it had been used in a poem to describe the moon. And the moon is brilliantly illuminated most nights, but it isn't a source of light on its own. And the moon is only bright insofar as it reflects the light of the sun. So as image bearers, we have the ability to reflect the sun, capital S-O-N, in all that we do. Just like the moon reflects the bright yellow sun that we see in the sky, we reflect the Son of God. On our own, we really don't amount to much, but in the power of God, we can shine brightly. And one line I really love that hasn't been mentioned yet is most enchanting song ever composed. This one's so special to me because I'm a songwriter, but there's this idea out there that I didn't hear until adulthood, that God sang creation into existence. That when he said, "Let there be light," it was possibly more like a song, like he was singing light. And there it was, light. And when God breathed life into humanity, I imagine it as a sweet, precious song. Scripture even tells us that the Lord rejoices over us with singing, right? And I thought about that. I thought about the power of music and like God didn't have to do that. He didn't have to give us music as a way to connect all over the world, as a way to share our hearts with others, as a way to relax and feel happy, or as a way to express harder issues and struggles. He didn't have to do that, but he did. And I spent a lot of time wondering why. Why did he do that? And a thought hit me like, well, he's a singer, right? If he sings over us, rejoices over us with singing, that means he loves music. He creates music, right? So to me, it made me think like our own lives are like songs. And with these lyrics, I'm basically saying, I believe when the Lord looks upon us, he's seeing us as the pinnacle of his creation, like I said, that we're indeed very, very good. Like the most enchanting, most magical part of this creation song. Yeah, Mario, frequency. That's, there's energy everywhere. And I think music, just, there's something really spectacular about it. And so that's what that line means, is kind of, maybe not something I've ever put together, like a person being the most enchanting song ever composed, ever written. But I don't know. That's probably one of my favorite lines. And at the end, glory's just begun is kind of self-explanatory, but the distinction I want to make is it's not like our human glory that's just begun, but it's the glory we share in as part of our inheritance with Christ. It's the experience of God's glory as we know him more. It's the reflection of God's glory as we align with him more. And our experience of God's glory is only just beginning, right? So that's that. And then the last part is the bridge. This was the very last piece of the whole song that was written. And it goes like this: lights were meant to shine. You're a stroke of genius, don't you know? You don't have to hide. Baby, you're on fire. Look at you glow. A phenomenon I will never understand is why some of us let others convince us to stop shining in our own unique ways. This is something I've struggled with a lot. Lights were meant to shine, not be hidden. Once a genius idea, so a stroke of genius, just a thought, you are now a brilliant, living, original creation. You're a whole person. And I hope that you know that you are not just special, like you are special, like you are brilliant and original. Does anyone, let me know in the comments if anyone knows or remembers the song, This Little Light of Mine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And then there's this part that says, hide it under a bushel, no, which is kind of weird. Why would you put it under a bushel? I don't know. That's just a song that I sang a lot as a little kid. And it kept popping into my head as I was working on Golden Forever. And I was like, what is the deal with this song? I was playing with this theme of light, and maybe that's why. And honestly, I started to kind of apply it. And I wrote about this in one of my posts recently, just that, as a really introverted person, and maybe some other causes, I feel like, in our culture, there's this weird thing where we feel like we need to like hide and somehow make ourselves seem smaller so that we're not offending other people, not making other people feel bad or like we're arrogant or something. And I really went through a big season of feeling like I just had to hide my big dreams because they would just seem dumb and impossible, and I had to hide my gifts because I didn't want others to think I was full of pride, which has happened. You get people say stuff and you're like, well, you don't even know, whatever. And I felt like I had to hide my calling because no one seemed to be able to believe me when I shared it. It's, when it seems unreachable to other people, it's hard to support what's going on. And man, after just forever of trying to hide who I really was, I just realized it was becoming impossible for me to do anymore. It's not that I was totally pretending to be a different person. It's just I was like ignoring the most important part of me, which is, you know, my calling, this gifting that I've been given. And it felt like I was trying to like put out this big, huge wildfire with a mug of water. It just, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Thank you, Mario, for believing in me. I know most of you here, if not all of you, have believed in me since you know me, and I'm so thankful for that, because that's helped pull me through this you know, these lies that just, I feel like the culture wants to throw at us, that what we're doing isn't that important and we don't have anything important to say and all of these things. But working through that, I wanted this song to inspire others to not be afraid of dreaming big. I hope it encourages you too to like invest in your gifting, and to share it with the whole world, because the world needs us to be who we really are and to give what we're called to give. There's just, yeah, I just hope it inspires you to shine even more brightly, knowing how precious you are. And most of all, I hope this song inspires you to stay true to yourself and to not feel like you have to hide your light under a bushel or dim it for other people, but that you can shine. So, and stay golden forever. So that's what the song to me means. I know that there's a lot more meaning out there. Thank you guys. Oh, thank you. Yes, this is the verse. Matthew 5:16. Jesus 5:15. Sorry. Jesus tells us, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it gives light to all that are in the house. So that's the verse where the song comes from. Thank you. Sorry that I didn't know it off the top of my head. Yeah, so that's what the song means to me. If you guys, you know, start feeling other things, I'd love to hear what it means to you. You can always DM me, or, you know, send me an email, or just comment on posts. I'd love to hear what it's meaning to all of you. Did anyone else have any other questions about it? Yeah. And then when we're done with the questions, I might go, because it's already getting later and I want to let you guys, you know, have your evening. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I really love just the response this song has gotten. It's been so encouraging, and it's been fun to celebrate with you guys. It really has. It's been neat to see where this song is going. Trying to think if there was anything else I was wanting to say. I did put the link for the song in the description, so if you haven't heard the fully produced version, definitely hear that. It is a whole new level for me, and I'm just so thankful for Nova, who produced it and did all the instrumentation for us. Man, I couldn't have imagined it sounding any cooler than it does. Yeah, Mario, we're gonna talk about if we can get a remix going. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, so anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed just hearing kind of about the songwriting process, what the lyrics meant to me, and I hope you enjoy the song. Make sure you head to goldenlymusic.com. That's where you can find out everything about the song. There's a big button that just, I think, says Here Golden Forever. If you click that, it takes you to a page that has everything about the song. It does have the lyrics on there. You can download it straight from that page, or there's links to different what's the word? Streaming services. Like there's Spotify, there's a Spotify link, Apple Music link. And you can choose whichever way you want to hear the song. There's also a YouTube video. We worked super hard, really late, several nights to try to put this together. The lyric video for this song we're so excited about. It's right on that page. You can also just search for Goldenly. On most stores and platforms it's coming up. Sometimes since it's still pretty new, it's not always showing up right away. So just keep trying and let me know if you have any trouble with anything. One last thing that we did that was a little crazy but very exciting is we came up with some merch, some apparel designs just for Goldenly and also just for Golden Forever, which we're super excited about. I've been kind of quiet about it just because I wasn't sure if it was going to be done by today, but it was. So again, goldenlymusic.com, you can click shop and it will show you all the new products that we have available. Really fun t-shirts. We're super excited about that. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Keep streaming the song if you can and keep sharing it. That just means the world to me. Oh, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate all of you. There are not enough words to describe how grateful I am for each of you. So thank you for being here live to celebrate with me. All right. Yeah, I think we're gonna go. So I will see you all. Have a wonderful night. I just really appreciate you guys. All right.